welcome back or welcome to my channel. So in today's vlog, I know it's been a very long time, but I've just been super busy, as you may know if you follow my Insta, doing lots of revision, getting ready for my GCSEs, and just super busy with school recently, because I do have my GCSEs coming up in, technically starting in a week, but then I've got my first proper series of exams in 2 weeks, which is not very fun. But yeah, so I've got my GCSEs coming up, so I have been a bit inactive on YouTube here. I haven't really had any ideas, and I don't want to be too repetitive with all my like jumping this, jumping that, because I do normally only jump once every other week. So yeah, I didn't want to be like super repetitive with that. Okay, so I'm just gonna head down to the yard now, but I'm doing some sort of like day in the life, balancing revision with the horses kind of stuff. Going down to the yard now. It's currently like 20 past 8. Yeah, 20 past 8 in the morning. And I think I'm going to ride Boris now. But if not, yeah, just going down to do chores and stuff. And then coming back and doing some revision. So I can just show you guys what revision I do. Give you guys some tips if you're doing your GCSEs, I guess. And yeah, so I'll see you down there. The Boris!
Jerry!
Yeah. Boris! Nope, he's not coming.
Hey,
so well trained. Joey's walking over. His eyes at my horse. Come on, Boris. You're in time, mate. Watch him not even lift his head up once I'm right next to him. Hello. Hello. I'm glad you show interest in me. Hello. Your plaits are still in. They're very pretty, if I do say so myself. Got the ponytails. Hello, baby. Let the wild beast go. Here you go. She's so grumpy. Come on. I mean, you can't stop there. Go in. Alright, okay, just drag the entire bucket with you, why don't you? There you go. Okay, so I need to groom him, pick out his feet, get him tacked up, and everything, but now I'm just going to get the saddle out. And I'm also thinking of doing a bit of pole work, so I need to get some poles out, but I'll do that once we're up. I need to find somewhere to put up my camera, but I think we all know what happened last time. My camera fell off and broke, but I think that, nope, that's stable. Wait, I have another plan. There we go. Don't know how much you can see. That's what my issue is. Bit of a dilemma. Nope. One of these days I'll figure out how to prop up my camera. That's good enough. Just hope it doesn't fall off in the meantime, because that's what happened last time and it did not end well. But, so yeah. Oh my god, why can I not undo this? Jesus Christ. What happened there? There you go. Could not undo his rug for some reason. Oh baby. Okay, so horses are out on nights. So obviously I just brought them in. And then we're gonna do a little ride. Oh god. Which I'm sure Boris is absolutely thrilled about. But I'm just gonna give him a quick, oh, okay. No. He might just got scared. Because sometimes he gets those like bugs that bite his ear. So we put him in his fly mask to stop that, but then he doesn't like his fly mask and he gets it off. So, but he doesn't seem to have any, luckily, which is good. Anyway, so I've started my revision for GCSEs, and well, I started in like the Easter holidays. That's when I first properly started, because I did technically start before that, but it wasn't proper blocks of revision. That's when I properly started. I was doing 8 hours a day. Don't know how much it benefited me or not. Hopefully it did, but I'm aiming for like, hopefully all 9s, but that's unrealistic, so 8s and 9s. I could get a 9s in a lot of my subjects, but my recent mocks didn't go that well, let's say. So I've lost a bit of confidence because of that. Anyways, so I'm going to tap Boris up now. Guys, a crazy thing just happened. My lens just opened fully by itself. So if you don't know, it was a while ago. Whenever I filmed my last vlog, I dropped my camera. Okay, I didn't drop it. I propped it up on the side of a stable like it is now, and it fell off when I like shut the door because, you know, the vibrations pass through, whatever, blah blah blah. And it fell off. It hit the concrete floor. I was surprised it didn't break more than it did, but because there's like a automatic cap kind of on my camera, when I turn it off, the lens like goes back in. So right now when it's on, the lens is out. So if you imagine this is my camera, the lens is like this, but then when it goes to turn off, it like shuts back like that. But then when it went out, there's a little lens that like opens up because it like protects it when it's not being used. And that wouldn't open up fully by itself, and it was fine. I could just open it manually, but yeah, so just now when I turned my camera off, it opened fully by itself. So I'm just going to test it and see if it still works. Guys, I think maybe, just maybe, it's fixed. It's crazy. I don't know, I went to open it again. I mean, not that I've done anything to it. Hi baby. Not that oh my god, that scared me. Not that I've done anything to it, but it's suddenly working now, which is obviously, I mean, great news, but whether it's fully permanently working or not, I don't know. Oh, jeez, Boris. But fingers crossed it is. Anyway, so I'm going to do a bit of pole work. So I need to set some poles up, but I don't have anyone to film for me, so I think I'm going to put it in the Pivo pod and then just let that track me, because that obviously works very well. Okay, now getting onto our ride, I'm going to try do this voiceover all in one and see if I can do it, but if not, there's going to have to be a bit of editing because this video was originally an hour long before editing. Anyway, so here's me getting on. Boris stood perfectly at the mountain block, and I decided to do a voiceover for this vlog, mainly because flat work is a bit boring, but also because I just want to explain like how Boris's flat work is going, what I'm going to improve, what I like, everything like that. Because you may know that I've been working a lot on trying to get him more supple, and you may have seen as well that he is very prone to opening his mouth, and I've been trying to like discover different ways on which I can help that, or why he may be doing that. So I did get him a new bit, one which has a slightly nicer mouthpiece. Originally I had the hanging cheek with the single jointed bit, and then I didn't like the nutcracker effect on that,
but now I've decided to get a bit from Expert's Bits, still with a hanging cheek, because he really liked that last time. He's not really a fan of the loose ring, maybe because of the amount of movement it has, I'm not entirely sure, but I still went with the hanging cheek and got the Comfy Barrel mouthpiece, which he has seemed to absolutely love. And after that, he was definitely so much better. Like, he was working a lot nicer, really supple, but he was still opening his mouth a bit, not as much as before, but still just a little bit. So I decided to try explore a bit on that, because even when I tried to be super soft, he would still like really drag on me and pull me down. So he just wasn't using himself properly, which is why another reason that I had to explore and work on. So there's this account that I follow called One Horse Life. I'll put there at on the video so you can see, and they explore kind of more like softness from not necessarily a bit perspective or the riding perspective, but from how the horse reacts with the bit, so to do with their tension related to it. So I think that I don't know where this came in, but Boris got a bit tense to do with the bit, and then that led him to open his mouth, because that's what they explore in the thing. So I was like, that's very interesting. So then I've had a couple sessions where I've just really worked on being soft with Boris and just letting him hold himself, because their course, I haven't bought it or anything, so this is not like an ad or anything, but I just decided to explore my own thing and just had a few sessions where I let Boris really just relax and kind of find softness by himself, with long reins, and just asking him to just be a bit more supple. And just a few sessions like that have really majorly helped him, and it's gotten him so much better in terms of not opening his mouth and him being more relaxed and a lot more supple, and just all in all so much better. Now this session is in no means like perfect. He's still opening his mouth in bits. I am fully aware of that, because I feel like I have to mention this in these videos, or else everyone's going to be like, oh, you're yanking his mouth, blah blah blah, because everyone always has something to complain about. But I am fully aware, and I am working on it, because obviously, I don't know if you've seen, but on my Instagram I did a small post where I've been exploring trying to get Boris to soften and round his neck and a contact per se bridleless, and we had one moment which was amazing and really towards the right direction, and I just really want to try bring that self-carriage into our dressage work, because obviously that is what it's all supposed to be about, that self-carriage and that collection and everything. So that's just what I'm working towards. But at the moment the canter, as you can probably see, is not the best yet. He still can be quite heavy in the hands. On the right rein he's a lot better, but he can be quite heavy, and it can be very difficult. Even when I'm really soft, he can just really lean on me, which makes it so much harder to ride, and it is something that's difficult to explain. You kind of just have to ride it to know, and every horse is different, so you can't really say necessarily like you do this or that, because yeah, every horse is different, and it is super difficult because they are animals. But anyway, so I'm just trying to explore different things with Boris, see what works for him. But again, he is so much better as softness. He did a super nice canter to halt there. I think these videos may be in the wrong order. This was towards the end of our session, but yeah, this was one of the last sessions. Sorry, this was the end of our session. So he was a bit more heavy in my hands, but he was still being super good. So all in all, in this session I was just working on getting him to just relax a bit more. Obviously, as I've mentioned, I was trying to work a lot more in the canter, because it can tend to be when he gets like stressed or I don't know, a bit anxious about something, he can then go super speedy and lean even more so on my hands, and it's kind of just like a vicious cycle where he leans on me and then I kind of have to be a bit stronger to hold him up and prevent him falling on the forehand, and then he doesn't like that extra pressure, and then he pulls even more, and it's just a vicious cycle, which is kind of where it's all come from. But he was going so nicely at the end here, and I was very happy, so I did just leave it there. But he was being very good. Anyways, on the right rein in the canter, he is getting a lot better at collecting, and I really felt it in this session. I could feel it in the way he was going in his stride. He was a lot more collected with me not having to do as much, which was exactly what I was looking for. and he was just being very, very good. The left rein isn't quite perfect yet. It is our worst one, but he still tries very, very hard. Anyways, and then here I was trying to do a bit of a walk to canter without using my reins, because again, he was just getting a bit anxious because he spooked at something somewhere and it just made him a bit stressed. So I was doing that same thing of where I where I was asking for stuff without holding my reins, or not necessarily saying that you guys have to do it without any reins, just like a looser contact, and just testing my seat. This canter to walk or halt was probably one of our worst ones. We did do one just before this that was absolutely perfect, without me holding the reins, and it was so good, but unfortunately you couldn't do it again, and I didn't want to keep drilling it per se. But yeah, so I was just doing this to calm him down a bit before I picked up the reins and did a bit more contact work. Now that walk to canter was not very good. You could see he obviously wasn't very much in a contact or anything, but I wasn't entirely bothered because I just was focusing on the actual canter part and not necessarily the transitions today. But his cantering around that corner was very, very nice, and I really, really liked that. Also, can we take a moment to appreciate how glossy and shiny Boris is? I am so impressed. I haven't bathed him in absolutely ages, so that is genuinely his nutrition and everything. But he looks really nice. Anyways, what could happen with Boris sometimes is in the walk, you can see obviously he's his head's a bit higher, and he's got a bit more of like a tense pace on him, but that tends to be because he's anticipating that I'm going to ask a canter transition, and he just is trying to predict it. But that's why I was just kind of just walking around to get him to not anticipate when it would be, and do obviously more off feel than off like this is where we do the transition sort of stuff, because obviously it's about the skill, and like in a dressage test it's going to be in a different place. It's not always going to be in the corner, it's not always going to be, I don't know, on a circle, anything like that. So I was kind of just walking around a bit trying to get him to almost calm down. Not that he was exactly like stressed before, but you know what I mean, like just to get him to not anticipate it and just have a bit less tension on him. But then he did that walk to canter and it was so good, and I've really been trying to work on him not losing the contact when we do the transition, and that one was so much better. Anyways, as you can see, obviously this canter isn't as nice on the left rein. As I was saying, he is a lot heavier in my hands. He's not holding himself as well, and that canter to halt was actually surprisingly good. He did kind of fall into it a bit, but it's a lot better than it used to be. It used to be very much looked like he was struggling to do it, didn't understand what I mean, so that is so much better. And then he did another walk to canter there, and despite being a bit like tense, as you can see with it, he calmed down very, very quickly and was cantering around super nicely. And this is, again, so much better than it used to be. But all in all, I was so pleased of how he scored in this session, because again, like, this left rein isn't perfect and the right rein is a lot better, but this is such a long way from where he came. And then he did an amazing canter to halt transition, again kind of flopping into it, but as I said, the way it used to be, he was so much better here. So I was super pleased with that, and yeah, he was just so good. I think this video is, again, earlier in the session. You can see this as the moment where he saw something and started spooking at it, and after this point he was a lot more tense. But here I was just working on the right rein a bit. His walk was actually very nice here. It was very like uphill and quite lifted. Anyways, and then I did a little walk to canter, and it's not perfect. He wasn't in a contact after the canter. He was quite high-headed, but his walk to canter was really nice and uphill, so that's what was most important. Not entirely sure what I was doing here when I was leaning forward, but it's okay. And then I just kind of practiced canter to halt, because again, this was earlier in the session and I was doing a lot more of my seat. And then he did a really uphill canter, but he spooked at something which wasn't very helpful, so I did have to go show him it, or else it would just be really annoying, because every single time he spooks at something, he then looks at it every time he goes past, unless I go show him it. But yeah, so that was just me here showing him that there was absolutely nothing there, or if there was, it was probably just a leaf, because he is actually surprisingly spooky. I don't know if you guys know this, but he is actually quite a spooky horse. I mean, he used to be a lot more spooky, but he's gotten so much better. But sometimes there is just times where he will spook at absolutely nothing. But then again, so does most horses, so can't really blame him. They are prey animals after all. And then I think I did a walk to canter there again. Not our best one, but this was earlier in the session. I was trying to get him to just listen to me a bit more when it comes to just having a bit more inside bend, and you can see at that point when it just clicked and he started doing it so much nicer. And I think this might have been that was one of our worst, like, not as good canter to halt. So I think I went back round and tried to do that again because it just wasn't very good, quite slow. And then he did another nice walk to canter there, but with a bit of trot in the middle. Now, before anyone says anything, I would like to point out the fact that I do obviously give him breaks. It's just I don't film it because that's a bit boring. So he does have breaks in between most of these videos, probably all of them. Give him a walk breather, because again, that is one of the most important. There's absolutely nothing beneficial about just drilling them round and round. Anyways, that canter to halt was super good. I was very happy with that. I think again this was towards the end of the session. I can't actually fully remember because these videos aren't in order. Yes, this was the end of the session. And I was just giving him another little trot on a loose rein. You can see he's being a bit spooky there, looking at something, but I really like ending the session doing something on a loose rein. And I think I did just gather the reins up to go over the poles a couple more times, because he can sometimes lift his head up when going over poles. I mean, you can't see it as much, but I could feel it a lot more. And yeah, so I was just wanted to finish off going over the poles a couple of times because I didn't do that as much as I would have liked. But please, guys, suggest some pole work exercises and suggestions because I would love to do them. I do need to do more pole work, and I think I might do one of Megan Elphick's water treadmill type things because they look really beneficial and I really like the look of them. Anyways, that was basically the end of our session and he was absolutely amazing, as I've said. Boris didn't really want to walk anymore because he's tired, but I need to cool him off, so I decided just to take his bridle off completely, and he seems to be walking happier now. Okay, no, he wasn't. He was still going towards the gate, but I do need to cool him off because, yeah, obviously, excuse his mane, is absolutely atrocious, but I can't be asked to replait it and it just gets so messy. I'll probably take out the plaits before I leave him in a stable though, but yeah, so I need to cool him off obviously because he's going in his stable now, and if he's not cooled off then he could get stiff, and I don't want to risk him getting stiff if his muscles aren't properly, I don't know, what would you say, loosened? Yeah, loosened. Boris is just still in there now. Oh, you look very pretty. Oh, this might be able to be my front cover. Oh, okay, no, he moved. Good boy. You're not standing very properly, are you, mate? Couldn't be asked to put the bridle back on, so I just did the throat lash up. And his nose band's just loose. And we're just walking back. She is perfect. I mean, if it were up to me, I would literally just hold the reins over his neck and hold it like a neck rope and be good, but I don't want to risk anything. There's always that what if. His mane goes quite thin here. I'm really tempted to do like a bit of a chop. It also is a bit, like I said, frizzy, so got a bit shrinkage going on. I mean, not much, but a bit. He's so like tight. Yep, no, I'm trying to show them your droopy lip. Boris, you're not helping me out here. No, it's gone now. I was trying to show them your droopy lip. Anyways, I need to give him a brush off as well. Like that. Good boy. I've just given Boris, oh, okay. Thanks, mate. Just given Boris a bit more hay because he does have his net there for the day, but then I also just gave him a bit more because he wasn't really eating that. And he's eating that one. So anyways, so this, just wanted to talk about his manders. So he does get a bit of manders. They have gotten a lot better now. There are some which are coming back a bit because I haven't really I need to rotate my phone a bit. Haven't
because I haven't been down. I haven't been doing them. So I just wanted to talk about... Okay, this cream, I actually swear by it. It is for humans, I think. I don't actually know, it just got recommended to me. And I've just been using it. It's obviously not sponsored or anything. I just buy it off Amazon for like 3 of them for like £6 or £5 in there. Like there's a whole massive tub. Still got another one up there if you can see. But I've used the other one, and I used this for his oh god, I just got a bit of pain there. Used this for his malanders, and it's honestly got rid of them because over the winter I did neglect them a bit. But after like a week of using this cream, they like more or less completely went. And then, like I said, I haven't really been doing these the past couple of days, but it's a lot better. So I just get about that amount. I do quite a lot. I mean, I'm gonna have to put the phone down for this because I need to like separate his fur out the way. So yeah, I kind of just put it on, make sure I just use 2 hands to like kind of hold his fur out the way, and then with the other hand put some cream on. And then you can see it's like, oh god, sorry. What, I apologise. You can see it's like there's bits starting to come off there because it just moisturizes his skin a lot. Basically it's like a moisturizer, and it works great. Like this is already feeling so much better. And then the rest of this down here is like pretty much clear, more or less, like considering how bad it was, and now it's like so much better. And then I just repeat that on the other side, on that side. This one tends to be worse, but I'll show you guys what it looks like. So yeah, this side is a bit worse. It's not awful still, it's just at the top bit here. It looks worse than it is. It's kind of just a bit of dry skin, just like flaking off a bit. But it's not actually that bad in real life, it just looks a bit bad. It's not hurting him obviously, but if you neglect it then it does get worse. But he's quite chill about it, and obviously it's very relieving to put this cream on because then it just moisturizes them. So try to just put a bit more on. I use so much because like, why not? It's actually very, like, it's not very expensive, but it works so well. And yeah, so I just like rub it in there, make sure it's actually on the skin, because you want to like obviously separate the feathers. Oh my god, there's a robin. Oh, that's so cute. Oops, sorry, Boris. I just want to rub it in, because then if you kind of just put it all on the feathers, then it's not actually going to help them at all. So yeah, and then just do that. You can see again, it's already a lot better. It still looks worse than it is. It doesn't look like this in real life at all. You can just see like these bits are just like his dead skin, I guess, just coming off. So yeah, just like, sorry, my hands look disgusting, but yeah, it just looks like that. There you go, take it back, Boris. But then further down here, this is kind of, I don't even know what this is. I need to wash his feathers, but it's just like dirt and grease. But yeah, down here it's just a lot better. Like it's not very bad anymore. You can also obviously after like moisturizing them for about a week, and the manders are a lot better, but then it tends to just get caught in their feathers, just bath them and then put some more on afterwards. So yeah, it doesn't risk drying up and getting worse, but this is just more common in cobs and stuff. But yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna head home now. My eyes look really blue. It was really cold, so I had to put my mum's jumper over the top. You can see all the iodine on my hands as well. It's great. But I'm just gonna head home now, and then obviously do some revision. And I'll just show you guys what revision I do and what subjects I'm going to be doing. Because my GCSEs, I've got my first exam next week. No, this week technically. On Thursday, it's German reading and listening, which is quite chill, but then I've just got that one exam. And then the following week I've got like 5 exams. I've got like quite main ones: English lit, German writing, chemistry, biology, economics. Yeah, I've got quite main ones. Okay, yeah, so I'm just gonna go home then, and then just show you guys what revisions I do for each subject. Sorry. Boris is rather tired now, aren't you? Look at his little face. Oh, he's like falling asleep. I was after our ride, I just rested his head on my shoulder and he started falling asleep. His eyes were shutting and everything. He didn't look like it, but he's really tired. He's very like dazed. His lips got quite droopy. Oh, bless him. Anyways, yeah, so I'm gonna head home. Okay, so starting off, I've decided
to do a bit of maths because I started a past paper yesterday, and then I never finished it. So I'm gonna finish my maths past paper, and then this is my physics that I did yesterday. I mean, it started to get rubbed off. This was kind of just like a past paper that I did because I do everything on my whiteboard. Because I bought this and it's been so helpful, and I just did this and I got 58 out of 72, which is 81%, so very good. I mean, it wasn't a full past paper and it was only on one topic, so that would have been an 8 probably, but if that was technically adjusted grade boundaries in a real test, that would have been a 9, because the grade boundaries are very weird. It's out of 100 and it tends to be roughly 73 to 75 or 6% for a 9, because that's out of 100, so like 73 out of 100 roughly for a 9. Anyways, I've decided to sit outside because it's actually really nice right now, and we've got this gazebo up and a sofa which I sit on to do my revision, which is fun. And yeah, like I said, the weather is very nice now, so I'm going to do a past paper and then do a science of some sort, probably chemistry, because that's what, oh no, biology, because that's what I've got next. Yes, I'm going to do maths now. So yeah, my schedule is, this week I've got German listening and reading on Thursday, and then the following week I have English lit on the Monday. On the Tuesday I have, I've literally just forgotten, I just looked at it. Tuesday I think I have 2. I have biology, I have biology. Wednesday I have economics and I think maths or German writing. Hold on. Okay, so Monday I have English lit, Tuesday I have biology, Wednesday I have economics, Thursday I have maths paper 1 and English, German writing, sorry. So yeah, it's quite a few core subjects in there, like obviously maths. Biology isn't, it's a cool subject, but it's not one that I'm taking for A-level, and obviously English lit is quite a cool one as well, even though I'm not taking it, but that one's pretty important, I guess. But that one's only, I guess, 25% of my overall English, because although we have English lit and language, which are split into 2 GCSEs, we've got 2 papers for each, 2 language papers, 2 lit papers, and that's lit paper 1. So 25% of my overall English language and literature GCSE, but 50% of my English lit GCSE, which is technically its own GCSE, but it's fine. I'm gonna tell myself that it's 25% to make myself feel better. So I'm gonna do some biology now. I just tend to do a past paper on past questions. The best resource for that is physics and maths tutor. I just do past questions on there, because you can have past papers, or you can have past questions by topic, which is very helpful. But I'm just going to go through all the different topics and just do like quite a big test for it, because like the one I did for physics yesterday was out of 72, which is close to a full proper paper, but again, like, it was only on one topic, which is why when I said I got 81%, it's only an 8, because that's only one topic, whereas if it was all topics that would be a 9, but it was only one topic. So I'm just going to start off with the first topic for biology, which I have no idea. I think it's cell biology is the first topic 1. So see how much I can remember, and then something I'd recommend obviously is like use your past papers and past questions to know what you need to go over. I tend to, at the bottom of mine on my whiteboard, write things to cover, and then I take a picture of it every time and then look at that and know what I need to cover, and then go onto Cognito and watch lessons on it or do flashcards. Okay, I've had to go to my room, but I did a biology paper out of 103 marks it was, so literally 3 marks more than a normal full paper would be. And again, it was just on cell biology, but I got, what was it, 84 I think, which was like 83 or 84%. So yeah, like an 8 or a 9. I forgot to show you guys, but I'll put a picture of it up so you can see what it looks like. And yeah, there was just like lost marks where I didn't even know, just didn't state obvious things, I guess. But yeah, my writing is a bit messy and it's not very clear, but I mean, I could read it, and also I could remember what I said because I had just done it. And I didn't write in full sentences because I wanted to save space to try get an entire paper on there. Hence why it's like really messy, but I can understand it. And yeah, so I'm going to do a German reading paper now and do the same thing on my whiteboard and have it up on my laptop. I'm also kind of panicking for my English Lit GCSE because I keep getting a bunch of videos pop up on my TikTok For You page about this type of question and that type of question, and then I try to think about how to answer it and I literally cannot think of anything. Because normally I get like grade 8s English Lit, and for some reason when I see a question I then like cannot think of an answer, and I'm aiming for a grade 9 in English Lit, but then when I see a question like that I'm like, what on earth? So I think I'm gonna try just do a bunch of practice questions, because I think that's what's most important, is doing practice questions and planning exactly what you're going to write. Obviously writing them is also important, but I'm more concerned of my ability to find points and stuff than I am for the actual writing bit, because I tend to be able to link context. But I think just the best thing to do for English Lit revision is past questions and just doing tons of thinking of points, because as you think of points, you think of quotes. It helps you remember quotes. You don't necessarily have to sit there doing boring flashcards the entire day. And also, yeah, just practicing. So just writing out a plan for a question where you know exactly where you're going to link in context, exactly what quote you're going to use, what point you're going to do, what references you're going to make, not necessarily writing it all out if you can't be asked. I think that's the next best thing you can do for English Lit. So I think I'm going to do, after my German paper, I'm going to do an hour of English Lit and an hour of economics. But in total today, I've done roughly 3.5 hours maybe, because I did about 2 hours of maths, and then I did about an hour and a half of biology, I think, because it's about 4:20 now, and I can't remember when I started. But yeah, so I reckon about 3.5 hours. Okay, so another little update. I've done my German paper. Got it here. It's obviously like not very long. I got 49 out of 60, so 82%, probably like an 8 again. There's just a few things that I went wrong. I kind of got to the point, some things it was just like misunderstanding, because a lot of German or any language GCSE, it's all very understanding, it's very comprehension, which it shouldn't necessarily be, but it's to a point of comprehension where it's not actually saying what it is in the text, if that makes sense. Like, it should be about understanding the language, but it's not, which is really silly. Like, you have to interpret it, which is again why I say it's like comprehension. But yeah, like I said, it shouldn't be like that. So just like bits like that where I drop marks. But yeah, I got 49 out of 60, which isn't awful. I reckon probably actually, I think it's like 1 mark off a 9. Normally, I could be wrong, but normally it's 50 out of 60 for a 9. You know what? I'm going to search up the grade boundaries for that year and see what that would have been. Okay, so I'm currently just searching it up now, but after I do this, I'm then going to go on to an economics paper. This is paper 1, and I have started it, but I'm just going to do a bit more. I've been doing a bunch of multiple choice recently and getting roughly between 15 to 18 out of 20. There was one I did and I got 20 out of 20. But I thought that was a bit of a fluke, to be honest. I kind of just been practicing most of them. Paper 1 is obviously a lot easier. and I've got paper 1 soon, but then literally a week after I've got paper 2, so I can't just immediately drop paper 2. It's not like physics where I have paper 1 in about 2 weeks and then paper 2 in like a month at the end of June. It's my last paper, so I can basically completely forget about physics paper 2 until it comes around to it, because it's so far away. But paper 1 economics and paper 2 economics are so close to each other, and paper 2 I'm worst at, so I kind of have to focus on that a bit. But I'm just doing a bit of paper 1 now because I haven't covered it since year 10. But yeah, I need to learn all my definitions. There's so many definitions. There's about 160 definitions total that I need to memorize, and I've memorized a lot of paper 2 that I did for my mock ages ago, but I need to remember all of paper 1 because I haven't done any of those, and that is there's about 90 definitions, which is rough. But I've been so tired of learning definitions that I'm doing a past paper instead. Okay, I couldn't find the exact grade boundaries, but I found a rough kind of estimation, and it's about 84% for a 9, because that's out of 240, which is obviously all speaking, reading, listening and writing, and what I just did was just a reading, so it's kind of rough, but 50 out of 60. I don't know if that's fully adjusted. I was also looking at economics, and for a 9 it's 81.25%, which is 130 out of 160, because obviously that's 2 papers. I'm kind of mainly aiming for a grade 8 because economics has always been something I've struggled with, not necessarily with the understanding, but with the way the mark scheme works, because it is so specific, it's really difficult. But that's why I've been doing so many past papers and past questions, and I think I'm getting the hang of it. But again, I just need to go over content as well. But I do think I've been getting better, touch wood, hopefully. You can see how long it's been by how dark it's going. I mean, to be fair, not all of that time was very productive, but I did do an economics 6 marker, which I reckon I got 6 out of 6 on. I did put it into ChatGPT and kind of like mark it myself using the mark scheme and everything, but the way, if you don't do economics, then you won't know this, but the way that they mark it is so specific and very, very harsh for 6 marks. And you're supposed to be able to write a lot, but not too much in not too long a time, because you've got 6 of them throughout the whole paper, plus 12 2 markers and 20 multiple choice. And you may think, oh, multiple choice, that's great. No, they're hard. They try to trick you very much. They make it very wordy and try to trick you. But I do still really enjoy economics, I can't lie. Even though I'm not the best at it, but I do really enjoy it. Anyways, so I did do a 6 marker, which I reckon I got 6 out of 6 on. I just need to basically learn definitions, because learning definitions is the most important thing when it comes to economics, because like I said, if you don't do economics, you won't know this, but in analyze questions, so you have 6 markers in economics, 3 of them are analyze, 3 of them are evaluation, and that's part of my my storage ran out again. Anyways, so yeah, you have analyze questions, and at the start of every analyze question you need to show a knowledge mark, because the way the marking system works, you get capped if you don't do. I've got it on the back here if you can see. So the top one is the analyze question and the bottom is the evaluate. Sorry, my handwriting is very messy. It's a bit hard to see, but basically you've got level 1, 2, 3, and if you don't get both marks in level 1, then you can't move up to level 2 basically, and you get capped. So in an analyze question, if you don't give that definition, you don't get the knowledge mark, which is on level 1, meaning you get capped at 1 mark, and that's if you get the definition wrong, or you don't give a definition. And it can be so easy sometimes to forget the definition when you're like in the flow and you're trying to think about the question. You're like, okay, I know what to do for an answer, and then you can just completely forget about the definition. So that's quite tricky. But so yeah, so for that reason, definitions are so important, and also for your understanding, because the definitions are very much involved in the question. Like one of my questions in here was about economic sustainability, I have to find it now. It said, analyse the benefits of economic sustainability for this company. And if you know the definition of economic sustainability, it will help your understanding. But if you don't, then, I mean, obviously economic sustainability, that is something that you can kind of guess, but knowing the definition just makes your understanding that much greater. And it is so beneficial. So for economics, if you do it, learn your definitions. It is so important, and I need to learn mine, to be honest. But yeah, that is one of the most important things. And then, yeah, using your past papers as well. So overall, from like today, because this is like a revision tips thing, I am, after my GCSEs, going to do a full guide of all my revision tips, everything that worked, because I don't want to be like, use this revision tip, it works great, and then it didn't get me right my results in the GCSEs, which is why I'm not doing it before my GCSEs. Okay, so yeah, past papers. So not just doing past papers is the most important, but checking the mark scheme and knowing that you understand where you went wrong. So if you know you went wrong, but don't understand why or where or whatever, you have to know, because that is the only way you will improve, because there's nothing stopping you from making that mistake again then later on, because if you don't know the correct answer, then there's no point. Yeah, you need to understand why or where you went wrong, and you need to use your past papers and where you went wrong, and use your mistakes to know where you need to study more of. So for instance, in economics, again, I'm going to be using this example, at the top, it's actually, or a lot of stuff you can kind of categorize into the topic. So for instance, like economic sustainability, or like I don't know, it says on the next page, evaluate the importance of price elasticity of demand. That's like a topic, or just demand as a topic, just anything, and you can look at that topic and go over it and use where you went wrong, and think about, maybe do a star next to the question or something where you weren't entirely sure on, maybe did a bit of guessing, maybe had to search something up, anything like that, and go back over it, because honestly, it's just not worth feeling stressed for your exams. If you feel confident and feel like you can do it, then it's good, but you do want that slight level of anxiety or stress, because you don't want to get complacent. That was my issue. I got a bit complacent in some of my recent exams. But then I also get stressed and then I forget everything. So it's finding that balance, which is really tricky, at least for me, because I tend to get quite anxious with stuff. But yeah, so you have to definitely use where you went wrong to improve for next time. Anyways, but I think I'm going to finish the video there. It has been a very long day, and I am quite tired, because obviously I had my riding in the morning, and I've been doing revision for quite a lot. I did obviously have breaks in between. Breaks are very, very important. But I've done a total of maybe 6 hours today, which is pretty good. Not like study with Kate doing 13 hours a day. That's absolutely mental, but you know what, whatever works for her, I'm not a hater. But yeah, I think I'll probably end the video there, because like I said, I'm very tired and I'm gonna go watch a movie. But yeah, I'm so glad I'm on study leave now as well. Don't have any more school. Finished year 11. It's great. Anyway, so I hope you enjoyed this vlog. I've got tons of very exciting things, and if you did make it this far in the vlog, then I can give you guys a little sneak peek of what's going to happen for the next few weeks and the next few vlogs. So my sister's currently revising for her university exams, and she's taking the next week off to basically revise and really focus on that, because hers are in 2 weeks time. So I'm having 2 days on Bosco, so I'm going to get 2 vlogs with that. Another very exciting thing is Joey is coming back into work soon. Not sure when, at some point in the next few weeks. There's still a bit more to come with that. And then I'll probably try find something else to do with Boris as well. Maybe some sort of jumping exercise, some like bounces, because I haven't done that in ages. I don't know, something exciting. Maybe put some suggestions down in the comments and I'll read through them, because I do read your guys' suggestions. I read like all comments, more or less. And don't forget, you can also follow my Instagram channel, where you guys can be a very big part of what I post and everything, and also some exciting stuff in the future. So anyways, hope you enjoyed. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you all next time. Crazy over you.